Okay, this is game 2 of the match between MInionpawn and GraceG. MInionpawn won the first game, as you can see by the helpful border I have if you're watching this on YouTube. And MInionpawn starting here with a 5-2. I can pull up what the kingdom looks like. We've got two 8 cost events, the Enclave and the Pathfinding. Pathfinding is typically going to be, often going to be a lot stronger, but Enclave certainly has places. This kingdom, you're looking to trash. Church is probably the best way to do that. So Grace opened Highway Nothing. MInionpawn opened Royal Seal Nothing. Royal Seal is a little bit strange to me as an opening choice. I can kind of see the appeal in terms of being able to buy things and top deck them early on in the game. But I think you want something like, you want more highways, you want more laboratories kind of stuff. One really important thing to note in this kingdom, let's start with colonies. Colonies are up there. Colonies are worth a lot more than provinces, and so a fast deck that gets a bunch of provinces can lose to a deck that can get more colonies. But I think the biggest thing to note here is plus buy is really limited. So the only way to get plus buy is to empty piles out for animal fare. So a deck that has something like 6 highways, well, the provinces are really cheap. They can get a province for 2, but they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to buy more than 1 in a turn often. I certainly think 5-2 is a lot worse here. I think I would probably open Church Silver. I might even open Double Church. There are things you can do in this kingdom. So Duplicate's a nice card. If you get 5 highways in play, you can duplicate colonies. So that's certainly something. If you buy a Talisman, you can get multiple duplicates in a turn and get a big duplicate turn where you duplicate a bunch of provinces. I've never actually done that in the amount of Dominion games I've played, been able to find that. I think slamming the highway pile here is pretty interesting, and I think fairly obviously they're going to try to get to 8 and put Pathfinding on highway for the draw. One challenge there is that highway decks are really good at hitting good price points because really expensive cards are cheap. The bad part about that is it's really hard to hit a natural 8 with 8 coins, whereas a province costs 3 with 5 highways in a play. These events over here still cost 8. So that's something to be challenged for. I think getting the animal fare there is nice because that only costs 3 and it'll give you 4 coins. Considering not taking so many highways, I think you don't worry as much about the highway split in a kingdom with somewhat limited gains. But I think they've both adopted this strategy of we're going to get all the highways, we're going to try to get pathfinding on it. So the challenge is a deck that has 3 highways but is able to draw a deck playing animal fare can get 2 provinces a turn. The deck that then gets 7 highways needs to waste a turn to get pathfinding and so on. So there's a significant opportunity cost in spending all this time getting the highways. And I would have, they're hitting 8 here, so they're able to get their pathfinding down on the highway. I certainly appreciate sort of as a logical strategy, just going straight down the highway line. Once you've gotten the first highway or 2, it's pretty easy to buy them. Certainly you want to use Church to set aside things here. They can use Church to set aside Lab and a couple of coppers. And they can buy 2 animal fares here, I guess. Seems reasonable. It's a little odd to buy 2 animal fares first. But we can, they may also go 2 of something else. You can get 2 animal fares this turn, and then you can get a bunch of plazas next turn. And then you're building your way towards this mega turn where you play 4 animal fares and buy a whole bunch of provinces and potentially colonies. That looks like the plan, or that is a good plan. I'm not quite sure if that's what MInionpawn is going for. They both seem to have fairly similar decks. Other than that, MInionpawn has gone for a little bit harder for the treasures, Royal Seal and Talisman, and Grace has gone a little bit earlier for the animal fare. And I think picked up the Churches a little bit later, has a few more coppers in the deck. MInionpawn, as we saw there, set aside almost their whole deck with the Churches, because they only wanted to buy buy the duplicate there. Not actually quite sure why they didn't play, on MInionpawn's turn, play the Talisman to gain 2 duplicates. Yeah, there is in this kingdom, to me, no reason one would ever buy Enclave. If you desperately want golds for some reason, you can dismantle into them, but essentially you're just exiling a duchy and gaining a gold, but everything that you want to buy is really cheap. And the only reason you want to get to 8 money is to buy pathfinding, so you have to get to 8 money to buy Enclave. I'm not quite sure about that. So MInionpawn did the thing there and was able to call duplicate in a colony, which feels quite nice. I think that maybe means they're quite a bit ahead. But then again, Grace has the plus buy with Animal Fair, so Grace can continue to do some things. Continue to build, add engine pieces. The problem is that MInionpawn is drawing a pretty goodly amount of their deck every turn and is able to still keep trashing those coppers, hopefully. And we'll see if they're able to do that again. On Grace's turn, got a colony in Animal Fair, which again you want to build. You want to get money, so you want to get provinces and colonies. So you're not too far behind, but you want more plus buys. The challenge is that Grace only has 1 action, so I'm not sure how they're going to get to the Animal Fair. And we'll see here. Looks like they're able to buy colony, duplicate colony, which is quite nice. And yeah, Grace not quite as thin, having trouble drawing, although bottom decked a bunch of good cards. That was somewhat unfortunate for Grace. And it's a really tough spot here. Kind of needs to get a Bazaar to be able to play both Animal Fairs, but is also just pretty far behind in VP. And MInionpawn is able to basically almost have a golden deck that buys 2 colonies a turn, which is pretty impressive. It's tough to buy colonies. They cost 11, and getting 2 of them a turn is quite nice. They should be able to fairly easily get 2 this turn. Slightly unfortunate that they have both their churches on the same turn. If they could alternate their churches, that would be a little bit better. But yeah, I think Grace has done the math and figured out that the MInionpawn is going to get 2 more colonies this turn and pile out. I think the difference you see is Grace ends with 5 coppers and MInionpawn has 1 copper, so getting thinner faster. I don't think the highway split 6-4 made that big of a difference. I think you could be competitive there with 4, but just thinning is really important. If you have any thoughts on that, leave a comment. Otherwise, I'll see you in Game 3.